Let's start with Crookie, your boys today, getting the win. Tough game it looked like, but got the job done in the end.
Yeah, it was attritional at times. I've got to say, I commentated the game. I was a bit disappointed by Crystal Palace, particularly in the first half. They were far too passive. I think the team selection was a little bit negative as well. But certainly in the first half, United looked a lot more organised than they did under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And actually, if you listen to Ralf Rangnick in his pre-match press conference, he used the word control and said he'd been watching United and they didn't really control games. I think that's absolutely right. When they did win games under Ole, often he relied on luck. Other times he relied on individual moments of magic from quality players. I think today, certainly in the first half, United did control the game. They dominated possession. They kept Palace pegged back inside their own half. They lacked a bit of creativity, though, and for all United's pressure, until Fred, of all people, thumped one into the top corner, they didn't really test Guaita in the Palace goal.
Is he a cult hero, legend?
Fred, I think he's in danger of becoming a bit of a cult hero, to be honest. But they'll get better under Ralf Rangnick, and we'll go back to the Arsenal game, watching that on Thursday night, and at no point really were they in control of that game. But I think the difference between United and Arsenal, and we're going to talk about the top four and the runners and riders, I think United are a better team than their performances suggest. I think they will improve with a bit of proper coaching. I don't know if Arsenal get any better than where they are at this moment in time under Mikel Arteta. I think they've peaked.
You think they've peaked?
I think they've peaked. I think they peaked when they won the FA Cup. And I just don't see...
The cheek.
I don't see them making the improvement they need to finish in the top four.
Well, but I've said this, I don't think Arsenal will finish in the top four. I think Arsenal, his aim this season has got to be top six. I wasn't getting carried away, and even when they were on this fantastic run, I always said top six has got to be the aim, because for me, top four was unreachable. Although, listen, if you get to a point where we're nearly at the end of the season, you're close, of course. But I think right now, for where Arsenal are going forward, consistency, top six. But what do you make of Manchester United, Daz? Do you think they're the favourites for that fourth spot again, or do you think there's still teams ahead of them?
I think there's still a lot to do. I think it was a good win today. I do agree with what you said. I thought I was a bit disappointed with Palace, and the last previous games, Villa and Leeds, I wasn't too disappointed in Palace. They still performed okay. Today, I think they were a little bit negative, so it helped. But yeah, I see a change in Manchester United. They were fighting for one another. It looked like it was fighting for Ralph. So yeah, do I think they could? Listen, they're in the running for top four. Of course they are. You got to put West Ham in there for me. What they've done to Chelsea and the teams they've beaten this season already. I think for me, they're the favourites to get top four, but there's still a few teams that are going to be fighting for that.
Have you seen the run of games, though, that Ralf Rangnick has got coming up? They've got young boys in the Champions League on Wednesday. That's a dead rubber because they've already won the group. Norwich away, Brentford away, Brighton at home, Newcastle away, Burnley at home, Wolves at home. They don't play anybody of any note, really, until mid-January, so there's certainly points to be won. Just on Palace, Wilf Zaha, wearing the captain's armband, always has a point to prove when he goes back to Old Trafford. Diogo Dalot did a fantastic job at right back, not just in terms of keeping Zaha quiet, but started a lot of attacks as well. And I do wonder now if Dalot is going to nail down that right back spot at the expense of Aaron Wan-Bissaka, because I think he's better going forward.
But defensively, though, obviously he showed it today, of course. Do you think he's better than Wan-Bissaka defensively? Or do you think you need more than just defensively?
I think you need more than just defensively to be a modern fullback. And he offers more in terms of the tempo that he plays at. I think that's the way that Ralf Rangnick will want his fullbacks to play. So very interesting. Same with Telles on the other side, actually. He had a good game as well, and again in midweek.
Just quickly going back to our cult hero, we've had a quick text in, or tweet, Lucas Moura. He's a cult hero at Spurs because of his Champions League heroics.
For sure, he doesn't do it week in, week out. I mean, the goal he scored today was outstanding. I mean, the little 1-2, he played a little touch. We was in the office, Daz, talking about the little touches, and then the hat trick he scored absolutely makes him a cult hero. And you know, for me, he needs to do it a little bit more, though, week in, week out.
That was Yasmin. We've got one from Steve, Daz, Crystal Palace fan. Darren Ambrose is an icon.
Wow.
Of Crystal Palace.
Thank you very much, Steve.
It's a big shout.
It's a big shout.
Is that your brother-in-law, cousin?
Maybe.
Well, Daz, we obviously know another one of your teams, Spurs. They played today. Conte's third win in the league in a row. Good result against Norwich, although Norwich missed some big chances before that game. Obviously, kind of took off. Pookie's chance at the start, hitting the goalkeeper, but listen, he's going in the right direction. Conte, he's got the reaction. Came out obviously, of course, and said that the level that he was expecting is maybe a little bit lower than he thought. Well, listen, they're getting results.
Yeah, of course they are. And they're going to. He's a top manager. They're going to have a blip. He's going to have a blip. It's how he reacts to that. Obviously, the defeat to Mura showed him that the squad wasn't good enough. And he was honest, and he came out and said that. He's got January. No doubt he's been given funds for January. You can see that. So hopefully he gets the right people in. But yeah, good results for Leeds against Leeds, Brentford, and obviously today against Norwich. And again, they've got Brighton coming up next, then Leicester. Two good teams, but ones that they could probably look at and think we can get something out of them. And then obviously they then play Liverpool, which will be a real tough game for Spurs, but they'll be at home. And who knows? Who knows? When we talk about runners and riders for the top four, I think Spurs are in it. I think since Conte's come in, they've not been performing fantastically, but they're getting the results. Harry Kane's not been scoring in the Premier League, but they're still getting results. There's a lot more to come off Spurs, and I think Conte knows that.
Well, you said Crookie out there that they've got no chance of finishing in the top four.
Yeah, no chance was maybe a bit strong, but
why say it then?
I just look at that run.
Look at him for reaction, isn't he?
No, but I look at that run of wins they've got. Leeds, Brentford, and Norwich. Teams that, even if you want to finish in the top 8, let alone the top 4, you have to be beating those sides. I think if Harry Kane can find his shooting boots, and he's certainly been missing them for a long time now in the Premier League, then that will give them a leg up. There's January to come when you would have thought that Conte would have been promised funds. At the moment, do I see Tottenham finishing ahead of United, or I make as favourites to finish 4th? No.
Shock, biased.
Not biased.
I think similar to Arsenal. I think the aim has to be top 6.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you can creep into that top 4, depending on consistency, I still have West Ham just pipping Man United as favourites.
You think West Ham will finish 4th?
I think they've got a big shout. If they can continue, and they don't pick up...
Is that because the boss is a West Ham fan?
Absolutely not. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
Right.
But listen, I think they're my favourites. Just seeing the spirit they've got, and David Moyes, what kind of football they're playing to beat Chelsea. And Chelsea were in the lead at half time, and I think 53 games I think that they haven't lost since being in the lead at half time. Brilliant. And the team, the togetherness. I worry about injuries, but he's got a big opportunity now, David Moyes, to go into the owners, the powers that be, and say, listen, January's around the corner. If we want to push for this top 4, give me some funds. That
result's been coming for Chelsea, though, hasn't it? Because they weren't great last Sunday when Darren Bent wasn't here against Manchester United. Thomas Tuchel admitted they were poor against Watford. So that result has been coming. And if you look at City and Liverpool and Chelsea, they're the 3 teams who are going to fight it out for the title. Those other 2 teams have the ability to sweep teams aside. We haven't really seen that from Chelsea yet.